So, as some of you may or may not be aware, last weekend there was actually a test of our readiness for the tariff barriers to come into effect, and these were officially called Operation Capstone. The idea was this would be the final readiness check to see if we were actually ready to leave and that our systems were in place. But for those of you who may have been keeping attention, especially I know a lot of you do work in the IT sector and have been telling me how laughable not only the time scale is to get some of these ready, but just the sheer work involved in them is absolutely mammoth. So some systems are ready, other systems are old systems that are going to be turned off anyway. Honestly, the systems are an absolute mess. But not only that, when there is a new system, you at least need training to get people to be able to competently be able to use it. Because there will be a massive number of volumes going through. And this is the type of thing where a lorry could have, 20 different items. And if one item on that lorry hasn't had its box ticked or something misfilled out wrong or incorrectly, then that entire lorry and that entire shipment has to stop. So this is going to cause huge problems. But let's take a look at just how ready we actually are. So before we jump into that, please do remember to hit that like and share button. And of course down below there is a link to my Patreon page as well as a one-off donation link as well. And let's get into this from the Yorkshire Bylines, and it is Brexit readiness testing. Operation Capstone or Operation Slapstick. The government is taking the Christmas rush to a new extreme this Wednesday, when it will test the country's readiness for a no-deal scenario with Operation Capstone, in what the Daily Mail is referring to as a war game scenario. The exercise will mock the worst-case scenarios of a no-deal exit from the EU, to test things like border disruption and fishing boats entering the UK waters illegally. According to the paper, this will be one of the biggest peacetime operations and will include the combined forces of the police, border guards, customs officials and military personnel to help keep the UK moving. Whoever dreamed up the name for the operation possibly should have done their homework. Google Operation Capstone and you will find, according to the Washington Times, this was the name given by a 2-year undercover investigation led by the US Customs Service into drug and money laundering activities on the Colombian cartels. Just what this Operation Capstone is hoping to smash is actually unclear. One thing is very clear though, they certainly have their work cut out. As one food boss has said, a Vulcan mind meld, and it is needed to make the Brexit preparedness campaign actually work. So already the government has had to plan for inland border controls to handle the volume of new checks that will be required, deal or no deal, just to keep the traffic flowing from their ports, and a 27-acre lorry park off the M20 still needs to be completed. To address the prospect of the huge queues caused by the lengthy border checks at Dover, an additional 50,000 custom officers have been recruited to complete an estimated 260 million new customs declarations annually. So 260 millions, and you think that, what was the Swiss border failure rate that they were saying, that there's about a 20% failure rate? Someone do the math on that, because I think that's quite a significant failure rate, quite a significant number as well. However, planning for Brexit was always going to be a challenge. Christmas and a worldwide pandemic are taking this to new levels. As a threat of no deal hangs over British businesses, many have decided just to stockpile while they can to avoid expected tariffs that will come in from the 1st of January. Last week, The Guardian reported that Brexit stockpiling was responsible for a 10-mile lorry queues and delays of up to 5 hours in Calais, where an estimated 50% of more heavy goods vehicles are approach the roads to the French port and Eurotunnel. This is causing delays not just to Santa, but to key businesses also. Honda temporarily halted production last week because of the parts shortages, and IKEA told The Guardian it was experiencing operational challenges as shipments of its flat pack furniture are held up and clogged at ports. There have been similar scenes from this side of the channel. Last week, the Kent Online reported huge queues at Dover and the Eurotunnel, which hauliers were putting down to the pre-Christmas rush, stockpiling and coronavirus vaccine delivery as well. Dover, the TAP, short for the Traffic Assessment Project, was implemented to try and mitigate the delays on the M20 coast bound between junctions 11 and A11A due to high volumes of freight heading towards the Eurotunnel. This does not bode well for the smooth flow of medicines in and out of the country, something that you really need to get right at the height of a pandemic. And according to ITV News, some 45 million packs of medicine moved from the UK to the EU, and 37 million come back the other way every month. They reported this weekend that medical suppliers are being encouraged to try and stockpile at least 6 weeks' worth of medicine, with the Department of Health and Social Care describing such actions as key parts of contingency plans. How you stockpile crucial medicines such as insulin, which has a very short shelf life, is anyone's guess. Finally, the Sunday Times yesterday reported that supermarkets this weekend are stockpiling food and other goods after being told by ministers that a no-deal Brexit is on the cards. Some food shortages could last as long as 3 months, according to the paper. And this is supposedly the calm before the storm. Remember that some key custom systems are still yet not live, and while others are still in development and testing, in other words, those who we rely on to bring our food and medicines from abroad or sell our goods overseas still haven't got all the necessary software they need for our new border controls, and we leave in 17 days. Still, Wednesday will show us what needs to be done to fix these problems, and that will give the government a healthy 15 days to try and resolve all this matter. And this is just Christmas and a mass vaccine program to the whole country to sort out at the same time. Fingers crossed Operation Capstone doesn't turn into Operation Slapstick. And there you have it. We have, in fact, it's Wednesday today, isn't it? Yeah, so that's happening today. So very likely you will be seeing reports just how well or even bad this just really went. So expect today to see, I'd say, large numbers of queues around ports, up and down, potentially around the country, and delays. It could be, as it says there, hopefully this is a very serious situation that we are trying to try and combat, especially at this time. And this could go wrong in so many bad ways. But, anyway, thanks for watching. Please do remember to hit that like and share button on your way out. And of course, down below there is a link to my Patreon page, as well as a one-off donation link called Buy Me a Coffee. And thank you very much to the people that do support me that way. So, as always, we'll see you next time.